This episode of the Horror Basement is brought to you by Chattanooga, Tennessee's largest multi-fandom convention. Going on between February 24th through the 26th at the Chattanooga Convention Center and historical Chattanooga Choo Choo Hotel. For more information, go check them out at connooga.com. Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Johnny Leroy. As always, we got our local horror expert here, the myth, the legend, the horror man, Jim
Jam here.
Alright guys, I think we say this every week, but you can find us everywhere. Stitcher Radio, Google Play,
iTunes,
SoundCloud.
Yep.
Are we on YouTube's?
Yes, we are.
We're on YouTube's, guys, if you didn't know that. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Horrormino.
If you don't know,
now you know. No. But we're in a lot of places. Check us out there. Follow us there. Like us there. Hit us up there. Comment there. Comment.
Do it all.
Patreon. We got a couple patrons.
Give us some money.
We love them guys. We love them peeps.
Hell yeah.
And you hit up Patreon, and you get this shit early.
Yep.
But we got Michael Coulombe, director. He's out of Los Angeles. He's done a couple horror short films.
West Coast Cali.
West Coast. Done a couple short films, horror short films, and a couple other type short films. But we talked about horror films here, and you know how it goes. So, but check them out, and as always, hey, we bring you somebody new.
For sure.
To the game. Not new to the game. He been around a while, but somebody new for you, possibly. So go check it out, and that's all we got. So away we go. All right, guys. On today's podcast, we have short film director Michael Coulombe. He has directed and wrote, I guess, quite a few short films, but the ones that we watched was The Wrong Profile and Axe. Michael, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time out and talking to us. How are you this evening?
I'm doing fantastic. Well, actually, here in LA, it's kind of still afternoon, so I'm doing real good. The sun's out. It's a nice, warm day.
It's warm here.
Oh, yeah. It's supposed to be...
it's like 60 degrees here in Tennessee.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm in shorts, and it's normally supposed to be snowing right now.
Yeah, around 50 at least. I mean, geez. Weather's been crazy.
Well, I'm not going to lie. We've had an exorbitant amount of rain. We never get rain here.
Well,
that's what I heard.
Yeah, y'all need that.
I mean, we're talking about weather here.
Hey,
so.
y'all be able to wash y'all's cars now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. I've had to pull out clothes I haven't worn in a while because it's it never rains, but here we are.
Yeah, I heard that this morning. It's so weird that I heard that this morning and we're talking to you. I didn't know that you was out in California. But
that's right. No, I'm here. Well, because I work in film, and so I'm in the film industry out here.
So do you just direct film, or you're writing?
No, well, here's the thing. So I've been working in film for a decade. I just hit my decade in September last year. Yeah. And I started as a script supervisor. So, for people who don't know, script supervising is I'm the person that tracks continuity. So I sit next to the director. I talk to every department. So I track hair, wardrobes, props, set, actor continuity, the continuity of the script, the continuity of the scene. And I do that for every shot, for every take, for the entirety of the movie. It's called script supervising. But we also log all the information, and that information gets sent to the editor, and they sort of use that information to kind of piece back the movie.
Oh, yeah, because it's never shot in the same order, right?
Yeah, so if you're going to shoot in a hotel room, you shoot all those scenes in the hotel room because you're there.
Okay, right? Yeah, I got you.
So my job is, after they get established in a wardrobe, I have to make sure that if that particular scene falls in that script day, that they have to look the same. right? So yeah, so I'm like the on-set liaison for post-production in a sense. So, and I started doing that because I wanted to be a script writer, and I never went to college for writing. I just had a full-time job, and I was not really happy there, and I had learned about script supervising. So my goal was to just do it for a couple of years, but I've been having fun because I've done it for about 10 years. I've done about 200 movies. I mean, all I do is I spend like 85% of my life on set.
Yeah, that's damn 200 movies.
You want to drop some, can you drop some names of them films?
Well, as a script, I mean, they're mostly independent films, but I've done so many.
Independent horror films is what, is the whole thing with us.
I just did one called Escape Room with Peter Dukes. That was a lot of fun. You haven't seen it come out yet. It hasn't been distributed, but I did that one as a script supervisor.
Yeah, we got a couple, I guess, film distributors that send us movies to review. So.
Oh, nice. Well, maybe you'll get one of those. It's called Escape Room. It's actually a really good script. I enjoyed it.
Oh, hell yeah. So, okay, so you're doing that, and then...
Yeah.
So
and then
now you're jumping into short film, like directing short films? Is that where...
Well, the other stuff that's missing is I also had started a horror film festival about 6 years ago in Big Bear, California.
Damn.
And so that's how I met people like Felissa Rose was one of our judges. That's how I met Victor Miller, because we did a 30-year reunion of Friday the 13th. And no one ever wants to talk to the writer. They always want to talk to the director or the actors. And he was available, and he lived in the Bay Area, and he came down, and we had Harry Manfredini at the same time, and they hadn't seen each other in 30 years. So this is the first time that either one of them had seen each other in 30 years. And so all they did was just pretty much most of the time just sit outside, smoke cigars, and catch up. It was actually kind of amazing to see that, because here's these two like legends in horror, and they're just sitting there. It was just fascinating, the stories that they...
But it is true, though. Like, people don't want to talk to the writer for some reason, which I wouldn't mind talking to some of the writers just because.
Project
yeah, I mean, they know the in-depth look of the story, so.
Yeah, and like why things are the way they were. So that happened, and then I started seeing a lot of the movies that were coming in, and that we were playing, and I was also working on set, and I was like, man, I've always wanted to write, and I hadn't really thought about directing, but what's great about script supervising is it's sort of a natural progression into directing, because the whole technical aspect of it. So I said, let me just see if I could do this. And I had written acts, and I had tried to film it a few years ago, and I didn't know what I was doing. But my friend and I he goes, dude, let's just shoot. You have a great script here. It's a lot of fun. It'll be really easy to shoot because it's mostly one guy except for his wife. And we shot it, and it actually turned out so much better than I was expecting, and I had such a great time. And so the second film I did was not a horror, it was a drama, because I wanted to show people that I could tell a good story.
Yeah.
So the second film I did was based on a class assignment I did, and it's called The Purpose of Apples, and it's just basically two people sitting at a bus stop. It was like their story about where they were in that moment. There was an older woman who had just lost her husband, and it was a young guy who just broke up with his girlfriend. So it was just like this conversation that they had.
See, I've seen that on the YouTube, but I didn't click on that one because I was looking for the horror ones.
For the horror one, I know, and that's okay. I was
like, that looks pretty interesting. I hope it's a horror one. Jim Jam over here was like, no, that's not it. I was like, damn, somebody get killed from the back on that one. Shit.
and then a friend of mine saw Axe, and he loved it, and he's like, dude, I love Axe. It's a great story. I like the way you shoot and all that stuff. And he goes, I have this script called The Wrong Profile. And he's like, I'd love to just have you come on board and shoot it, and sort of bring the same vibe you did with Axe. And I was like, okay. I even used the same director of photography. We held a casting. We got really good actors. So that's probably why people think it's a lot like Axe. Also, the other thing is when we were in post-production, the producer was just like, there's got to be a moment where we're thinking about this girl that this guy finds out that the killer is about to go after his girlfriend, and we never cast a woman at all, because I didn't even know we needed that. That was original in the script. He just thought it'd be a nice beat, and we had a deadline to submit it, and I was like, where the hell am I going to find an actress? And he goes, can we just use one of your shots from Axe? And I was like, sure, okay.
Yeah.
So I just used it real quick because Marita is a friend of mine, and I said, look, I'll give you a different character name. It'll be a nice credit on your IMDb. You don't even have to do anything. You just already shot it. So that's why a lot of people think they're together. And you know what? It's really kind of cool is that I kind of like that people think that, because it's kind of like it gives a little mystery to like the story.
Well, it could be together. I mean, who's to say that you didn't write one thing and he wrote the other? And you know how they do the films, you know, where one person writes the one part and then the other person writes the other, and they don't collab. Like they have no clue. It's just like, this is what it's going to be. You do you, and I'll do me. What was that? What was that movie? Damn. They were in a hotel. It was like 12 rooms or 3 rooms. Or...
Oh, it was the one with John Cusack.
Yeah. Was it? No. No, where there was 3 or 4 different stories, all separately written.
Oh, man, I don't...
Oh, my God, I wish I could remember what that movie was called.
Because... Well, what happens once we get off the recording, you're like, I know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Blah, blah, blah.
Damn it. I wish I could remember, because... That was a good film. It was fucking crazy because it's all happened in a hotel room at night, or a hotel, and oh man, if I can remember it, that's a movie everybody should watch. Actually,
yeah, let me know because I may have to watch it. So then I've also I did a short film called The Pains of the Past. It's not out yet. It's probably gonna hit the festival circuit soon, and that deals with domestic violence and rape. And then I did another movie that's hitting the festival circuit called The Deal, and that's a story about a guy who's been kidnapped and is being tortured because they think he's a spy. And then the ending. So those are the ones that I've done, and I've also done a few other things. But I wanted to show people that I could direct, because I was writing features, and I wanted to start doing features, and so I was going into kind of pre-production on a few features. And so I was using these shorts as like, hey, look, I know how to tell a story. I can do horror, drama, whatever. Because I never intended to be a horror writer. It was just when I started the festival, I was surrounded by so many horror filmmakers. And I love the genre.
Yeah.
So it was just sort of like that seemed a sort of natural progression. But I also, years ago, had written a play. And it was a story about a Latina woman whose husband has just died, and she was trying to figure out where to go with her life, and she was alone now. So it was based on a play that I wrote, and so I turned that into a movie, and that's not horror at all. So I do a little bit of everything. It's just I love horror, and horror is great. And who doesn't like horror?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, what's like? So you got your hat, I guess you could say, in many things, but.
I suppose I do.
Well,
yeah,
as far as the different, like you're getting out there to more than just horror, like you're branching out, but do you always just come back to the horror aspect of it, or like?
Well, it's really interesting is most people think of me as a horror filmmaker with all the number of films that I've done and have written, but it's because I love suspense so much, and I love story, and I just like, and I watch. Like I said, I know so many horror filmmakers. I like every screening I go to is a horror film. They're easier to make, so a lot of people do them, especially when they're starting out. And because I started a horror film festival, I watch nothing but horror.
What's that? What's the horror film festival called?
We're not doing it anymore. We had some issues in this. No, Big Bear right now has no film festivals. Neither one of them are running, sadly. But it was the Big Bear Horror Film Festival.
Well,
it would be nice to launch again someday.
Hopefully you'll be able to, because I wish we had horror film festivals around here, to be honest, in Tennessee.
I feel like there is one, because I actually in October of last year I wrote a script for a short film called The Beauty of Death, and it actually won the Horror in the Hills Film Festival, which is in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Yeah, well, that's like 5 hours from here.
I know. But it was in Tennessee. I mean, and sadly, they unfortunately had that fire.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That was
But I was
pretty
excited
bad
about that, because, and I haven't made that into a movie yet, but it is a script. I have called The Beauty of Death.
There is one in Chattanooga, or there was last year, right? Or
Knoxville.
Wasn't I
the
thought
Knoxville Horror Film Festival.
Wasn't there one in Chattanooga last year, like just a screening?
I don't remember. I know the one.
We got our start about a year and a half ago. I mean, really, honestly, like with Tennessee Horror News, like, which Jim Jam, he started a year,
4 years ago.
4 years ago, and then I come in like a year and a half ago. I was like, let's do a podcast.
Well, I think that's great because I don't think there's there's not enough down that way.
Yeah,
and
that's what we've heard. Like, you need to the southern.
I don't think there's that many that actually do interviews with people. Like, there's probably quite a few, but not in Tennessee. I know we got quite a few around here podcasts.
Like, a lot of people just talk about movies, and we're like trying to get independent filmmakers. Like, because the majority, we talk to actors. Of course, it'd be nice to talk to more, but also you have to continue to talk to the independent horror filmmakers and the short filmmakers, because that's what the future is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not the biggest horror fan. Like, I'm not the super duper horror guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim Jam is. And I come in, and, like I started out, I was like, I like horror. I'm not that big into it, but, I'd love to do a podcast. I'd love to get, stuff out. But the more and more I got into it, it's just like, well, damn, I've seen a lot more horror films than I thought I had. And I enjoy this a lot more than I thought I did.
That's like me when I did the festival, because I was like, I don't know much about horror. My cousin, on the other hand, was like a huge horror nut. And when I did the festival, I would call him and be like, dude, what the hell is this? And he goes, oh. But what was really interesting is, on a side note, I was actually, and this is a funny story, I am friends with Kerry O'Quinn. He started Fangoria Magazine.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't know him as starting Fangoria Magazine. I was friends with him through another friend, and I would go to parties at his house all the time because I knew his son.
Yeah.
And so we were friends on like an acquaintance basis, and I knew of him and I'd see him around. And I remember when I was doing the film festival, my friend looks at me, she goes, it'd be really great. She's like, you should get Fangoria Magazine involved. I was like, yeah, that'd be amazing if I knew anybody with that. And she goes, Carrie? And I was like, ain't that a bitch? So and then Carrie, and at that time, Carrie he had been really sick. It was getting better. We wanted to get back out again. And so he's like, I'd love to help you with your festival. And of course, he started Fangoria Magazine, so who wouldn't want him involved, right?
Yeah.
And then the just plethora of people he knew within the horror genre were so amazing. And people I wouldn't even thought about asking because like I wasn't that familiar. So it was just the most fascinating. That was overwhelming for me. I was like, oh my god. So
it's like a small world.
It really is. And I mean, first of all, the film community is really small, but the horror film community is even smaller.
Yeah, and everybody's super nice, it seems.
Yeah, and it gets a really bad rep because, in fact, I remember because we did the our second year? Our second year of the festival, I had got introduced to a gentleman who ran a film class out of the local high school. So Big Bear is actually a mountain city.
Yeah.
So it takes like from LA, it takes like 45 minutes to get to the mountain, and then it's like another 45 minutes up it, right?
Okay.
So it's deep up in the mountains, and on the other side of the mountain, there was this high school. And I got introduced to the guy because he had said that he was teaching film to his students, and some of them had done monster movies. And I said, okay, send me those films because we are a horror film festival.
Yeah.
And then we set aside our first block of movies on Saturday we did with the kids because we knew it would be a great way. It was a very nice place that we had it. Like I said, Kerry O'Quinn was there. We had Chris Coppola, which is Nicolas Cage's brother. He does horror films, so he was there. We had Jeffrey Reddick, who wrote the original Final Destination.
Oh.
And I said, look, if you bring these kids and their parents, this will be they can actually screen their movies in front of an audience, which they probably won't usually get. I said, and then we'll take the kids into a room, and these three adults can talk to them about filmmaking. Right? So these kids could have a sort of one-on-one experience to talk to them and what it was like. And I knew no one would give them that. And I said, if we had to preserve, like what you guys are doing, if we had to preserve filmmaking, something like that's very important.
Yeah.
But I remember, because we were a horror film festival, that we got a nasty phone call from this woman one time, because Big Bear is fairly religious, and people connotate horror because, and she just ripped me a new one on my voicemail, talking about how this is a Christian community, why would I think about doing that, and blah, 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 blah. So I called her back, and I said, and I left a voicemail, and I said, yes, I understand your concern, I'm aware of, like, what horror, is perceived as. I said, but are you familiar with the festival? I said, are you aware that we had these students come in, and that we had them talk to actual professionals, and that we let them have an audience, and that most festivals don't even do that, and that I really am trying to preserve, the future. And I says, it's great that you took the time to call and yell at me, but you should probably do your research, right?
Yeah.
She never called me back. But it was interesting, just because we're a horror film festival, I was evil, and I was. So it's a perception.
But I think it won't matter who you talk to. You could have the most PG horror or film, and somebody would complain that it's still horror.
Yeah, and that's what can you do?
But I think it's pretty badass though that you brought the students in and showed their films to people, and because I mean that gives the opportunity. And then
I'm gonna tell you, I wish I had that when I was a kid, because I didn't even start my film career till I was 30. I walked off my job when I was around 30.
Damn.
And most kids I'm on set. I'm usually one of the older people, and all these kids come fresh out of they from college. They go right into film school, and they come right on set. And of course, by that time, I'd already had film as my second career. I had a whole career right before it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, you guys are in for a big surprise, But yeah, so I wish I had that opportunity, because I would love to have had I wish I would, I would have stayed a decade of my career. And it's funny because I turned 42 next week, and it's just like I'm trying to change my career again, getting into writing and directing more. Not that's okay because I'm behind the camera, and I can sit and write from my desk. But yeah, stuff like that was important, and I still do. I host a networking event once a month here for filmmakers in LA, just because people need to meet people, and it's really what it's about,
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I like what we do, and even coming up, we have a festival, or con coming up, and it's like just getting the word out for indie horror filmmakers and short filmmakers.
Is it a con that you guys are doing through your podcast?
Well, no, we've been invited. To do a couple panels. Three panels? Yeah, 3.
Oh wow, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's the first year we ever done anything, so yeah.
But it'll be fun because you'll meet more filmmakers that could be on your show, and you can help promote each other. And
well, maybe, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean,
as long as all our panelists show up.
And we got the short filmmakers from Tennessee.
Yeah,
and it's this is in your backyard, people. This is who you need to be looking for, and just trying to get stuff out. You know how it goes.
Well, and that's true. It's like I am lucky in the sense that I live in LA, and I work in film, but I still have to work just as hard because I have to compete with 800 other people that are here.
Yeah,
exactly. And they have to compete just as hard and they're not here. Where they have it's probably hard for them to make that one feature that they have to shop around. So I understand that I'm lucky in that sense. That's another reason why I try to help other people, because they're not as lucky. But we're in a good space right now because we do have people like you. We also have a digital medium. So between YouTube and Vimeo and podcasts and things like that, it's so much easier to get movies out.
Yeah,
which is nice.
I think that's what the good thing is. It ain't passed around on VHS anymore.
Yeah, and it's so easy to submit movies now through Film Freeway and Without a Box, because you can just send them digitally. Before you'd have to spend $40 to enter it and another $20 to send it. It was just it was very costly.
It's here, check out this, and put it up on Vimeo and just
send the link to everybody.
Yeah, send the link and you watch it and you give a review or do whatever. It's hell yeah. Yeah. Way easier.
Yeah, it really is. And I when I hit up people like you, please just review my movie, I can send it to them and it's great, and I can use that press to promote the movie and vice versa. So it's kind of a win-win because they're promoting my movie, in which turn I'm promoting them for promoting the movie. So I guess that's how I look at it.
Speaking of movies, so, like, on Axe, I just want to know a few things about it.
Okay, lay it on me. Go ahead.
So, now, it's perceived that the Axe is talking to him. Or sort of. I mean,
yeah.
But he's got an evil in him. To me, though, that film was more artsy with the... I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't... Just the way that it was spoken out. And,
okay.
And you know what I mean? Like, I guess narrated.
Yeah, narrated.
Yeah, because I did everything in the voiceover, yes.
And it's just like, it seemed a little bit more artsy. I don't know if
I've been told that before. It was also my first film.
Yeah, but I mean, was it a bad thing? No. But I was just like, you could see, like, it's like, okay. I could see where you're just going with the artsy, the art, part of it, I guess. But was dude fucking crazy?
So here's the thing. I didn't actually mean to make an artsy film. I just wanted to make something different than what I'd been seeing.
Yeah.
Right. And what's interesting about the story is, and a lot of my scripts are like this. They're not unilateral. Like, I move a lot through a specific timeline. I don't know why. I guess because that's how I think.
Yeah.
Right. And I knew I wanted to write a story about a man who just killed his wife, but I didn't want to focus on the death. That's why it kind of flashed to white, and also because I couldn't really afford it. But I really wanted it to be more about his descent into madness. So it was why I made it more of a voiceover thing, because I wanted to be able to use a man who you could tell was intelligent, but something happened, right? So that was what I was exploring. And the movie's only 9 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking there. I was like, dude's fucking crazy.
Well, and that's the thing. So the story, I mean, Axe in itself had went through so many different variations before we even shot that. And I was originally going to make it a series where the Axe was talking to people, and it would be about how it would show up to other people's places, and it was sort of like that. So it became its own entity. But when I went to shoot this particular version of Axe, I wanted the Axe to kind of talk to him because he's clearly unstable.
Yeah.
So to him, the Axe feels like it's a thing, and that's what I wanted to explore. It was like, in his mind, his justification is like, well, the Axe made me do it. Like, why would I ever kill this? Yeah.
That's so okay.
Is that what you're gonna ask?
No. That's what I was getting from. Like, he was just crazy, like, because.
Well, yeah. And I actually wrote a feature version of Axe, and I actually explored that more.
Yeah, because that's what I was getting. I was like, this dude's fucking crazy. I mean, like, the Axe is sitting there, he's thinking the Axe is talking, well, the Axe made me do it. Like you said, like, come on.
Yeah.
You already had that inside you. Which, granted, the location of it, though, out in the middle of the woods, it could have been isolation. You know what's so funny is that location is only like 20 minutes from my house in the mountains. It's really, really close. It's not that far at all. Yeah, but you get the perception of, well, they're out in the middle of the woods, isolation. He's out there. He's done gone crazy. I mean, But I guess that's the whole thing about short films, though, and all this, though, is you could get whatever you want to out of them if you didn't know.
And that's kind of what I wanted. Well, another reason why he was blaming the Axe was, it's one of the other things I was trying to explore in a short amount of time is if he didn't have the Axe, would he have done it? Right?
Yeah.
Probably or probably not. But that's the thing. It's like, and the Axe in itself became its own entity because in his hands it was heavy, so it felt real, right? It was so easy because it was right there, and who knows what led the events to that? All we know is in that moment, that's where he was at. Yeah. That's what I wanted to explore.
Yeah, I mean that
was important to me.
I enjoyed it, and then with the wrong profile, I really liked that one.
Yeah, I didn't write that one. It was written by a friend of mine, Kenny Kirkcan, but I did direct it, and when we're doing the interview process, so the guy that plays the older gentleman is Paul Stroily. I think, yes, Paul Stroily, and he was amazing. He's an older, seasoned actor, and he just was like, he knew all his lines, and the stuff he was helping with bring to the role was amazing. I would totally work with him again in a second. The younger gentleman, Kyler, was fairly new at the time he did this, and when he came into the audition, I knew right after his audition, I turned to Kenny and I said, "That's our guy," and he was probably the third person we auditioned.
Damn.
Right after, and he goes, "How do you know?" I said, "I just know. He's got an innocence about him, which I liked, which felt right for the character because you had this sort of young rookie cop."
Yeah.
And I knew that he would do really well up against Paul, which when we got Paul, I knew that. And so I liked that. So that was where I was going with. And so we auditioned a lot of other people. We went back and watched the videotapes again, and Kenny's like, "Yeah, this guy's great." And he was unbelievably professional. He knew all of his lines. And I'm not even joking because it took us so long to shoot that movie. We shot it in one day, like a 15-hour day. And all the scenes, we did all the stuff post him leaving the car, the death stuff, because it took the longest. So all the stuff leading up to it, we did in 2 takes, and they were 12 minutes long. We did one angle one way and one angle another way, and that guy knew all of his lines.
Damn.
I just have to sit there. Yeah, Tyler was a professional. I would totally work with him again. He actually moved to Louisiana. He lived. He's in New Orleans, I think. Yeah, New Orleans. That's where he lives now. So he's been hitting up the like he was on an episode of Scream Queen. So he's been hit the circuit down there. So he's more towards you guys.
Yeah.
And he's great. Damn. And then I don't know if you caught this, the guy that plays the bad guy, you never see his face on the walkie. That's the same guy from Act.
You could just barely see him. So
no. Yeah, we did that on purpose because it was originally written that you were only supposed to hear him, and then my director of photography is like, let's just shoot him from behind, kind of see his lips.
Yeah.
He thought of the orange, and that was great because it brought a different element. It was also helped us cut between the 2 scenes a lot better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's the same guy from Act, so he can actually act. he doesn't ever talk in Act. He does everything in voiceover.
That's funny.
So, and he's brilliant. He studied at Playhouse West, the same theater company that James Franco was in. Todd's really good. He's actually doing a lot now these days too. I'm really proud of him. So there you go. And that was a fun one to shoot. It was tough because that was actually the first time I directed anything I hadn't written. Up until then, I'd done 2 movies I wrote. So it was a lot more fun because I had interpreted some of his words, and because he was a producer, he also would provide input, which was strange because I had never had that. I was spoiled doing my own first movies. So that I think, so The Wrong Profile is great for me because that's really when I started to grow as a director because I had to, because I was using someone else's words, and I'd have to interpret them, and sometimes he'd be like, no, that's not where I was going with that, so let's talk about this. And
but that could be where like he might need to learn too, because no,
it was a learning experience for all of us. It's his
because
first
like when
time.
somebody writes and somebody directs, it's like, well, yeah, but this is where I'm taking it, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, you hired me a job, let me do it.
Yeah.
Actually, it was really funny because we got into a conversation about the ending song.
Oh, I like that ending song.
Isn't it? It's called American Psycho.
Yeah. Did he not like it, or did you not like it?
Well, it was really funny. We were looking for a song, and he had an idea. He wanted something a little more moody, and to like leave the audience with the like, holy shit, and like he runs off to go find out what happened to his girlfriend, and we're left with like this sort of mood thing. And we were looking, and I reached out to a friend of mine, and she reached out to these people, this band. At the time they recorded the song, they were called Will Powerless, but now their name of their band is called Everlit. They are a rock band, I want to say in Pennsylvania. They're probably going to get mad at me for that, I don't know, but they're somewhere in that sort of area over there. And they messaged me on Facebook, and I said, look, this is my project. I have a short film. It's just going to be online. I'm just getting myself out as a director. Someone recommended your music. And he goes, well, we have this song called American Psycho. And I was like, okay. And I wasn't into rock much because I didn't think the ending needed to be a rock song. And I'm not even joking. 5 seconds into that song, I was like, done. This is the song. It's just the way it started off. It was, and then I played it to my roommate who was editing the movie, and he goes, dude, this song's amazing. I was like, I know, it's perfect. This movie's got to end with this song. And so I sent it to the producer, and he's like, I don't know. It's so fast-paced. And I said, okay, take the song that you like, which I did not like. Take this song, which I love, turn down the credits and just watch it and see what you think. And it leaves with. And he calls me 10 minutes later. He goes, "Holy shit, your song is amazing."
Yeah, that's what I was like. I think when you called, no, not when you called, but yeah, actually when Jim Jane called you, or whatever. I was still listening to the credits, and I was like, "Dude, I love this song. This song's a really good song. Do you like this?"
Yeah, it's actually, you can find their video. Yeah, it's called American Psycho. You can find their video online. I promote it when I promote the movie. They're actually really, really nice. I talk to those guys all the time. They're doing really good.
Good for them, because that was a good song. I was like, damn, dude, I like this song.
Yeah,
because with music, I'm into like rock, heavy metal, but then I like hip hop and rap, so old school.
Well, I mean, and that's good that you can like all kinds of music, and music speaks to like the mood. And I'm telling you, when I heard that song, I like it because it starts off kind of slow with the piano.
Yeah,
it's haunting. That's what I liked, and then all of a sudden it gets really fast into the rock part, and he's singing. But because the way the song was designed, it worked so perfectly in the way we set up the movie. So that sort of like slow part plays over like the quote, and it leads into like, and as soon as the credits roll, it was so perfect. I don't know how. I was so blessed to find that song. I'm not even joking. It fell in my lap and I used it. And I still talk to the band because I promote them all the time, because I think I had the same luck with my other film, The Purpose of Apples, where my roommate, who was also editing The Purpose of Apples, knew this sort of indie artist, and he had this sort of beautiful melancholy song that opens that movie. And the guy's like, "Yeah, you can just use it as long as I promote it online.
Yeah,
only I can use these songs, but I can promote." And they're so great that our artists let us cross over and help each other out like that.
Hell yeah.
And now, hopefully soon I'll be doing some features. I'm going in pre-production on a couple of things, so hopefully the next time I'm on your show, I can talk about one of my features.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and I'm going to turn Axe into a feature, so you guys are going to love that. I know you are. They're really good script. Also, I have a friend who wrote it's a movie called Hamachi. It's like a Native American zombie movie, so it's got some...
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, there's nothing like it, and it's based on an old curse.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really excited about that one. So we're been talking a lot about that one. I mean, I also am doing like my Latin drama, but this is horror. We got to talk about horror. So those are my two big ones I got going on.
Well,
hopefully, whenever you get done with it and you're able to talk about them more, and hit up Jim Jam, and we'll have you back on.
I will.
And shit, let us see a feature of it.
No, of course, I'll let you guys review it and everything and talk about it. It'll be great. I'd love that.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure we'll definitely keep in touch. I mean, I keep busy. I'm always trying to just keep being on set and working and writing and want to direct. I don't ever want to stop. I'm having way too much fun, and I'm blessed to be able to still do it.
Well, yeah.
As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's what we do.
Well, just think, I was at the age of 30 terrified to walk off my job because I didn't ever think I'd be able to do this.
I wish I could walk off my job and do this.
I just don't go to people and be like, you should walk off your job. It really is.
Shit,
I didn't have anything planned. And just for the record, about 2.5 years in, when I left my job, 2.5 years in, we hit the writer's strike, and then all of the country went into recession. So actually, I had terrible timing. I remember having to sleep on my friend's couch for a while just because there was no work. So it was very, very tough. But I'm grateful because I could still be at my full-time job I didn't like.
Yeah.
And be miserable.
Exactly.
So at least if I had starved to death, I would have doing what I was doing.
That's the truth.
And I actually am from Southern California, so I only moved like 45 minutes away. Like, I actually admire people who move from Tennessee and other places because they're like, it's not like they can just go back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly.
I'm so talkative. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. But okay. Michael, hey, we do have to cut it.
Okay. Well, thanks.
But man, hey, this is a great interview.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on and talking about this.
And
we
you said,
look forward to
the future.
Yes.
Oh well, you guys are great. And if you don't get a chance to hear from me, I always try to put the most latest and greatest things on my website, bearclawfilms.com. There's a little news section right there.
Okay.
And I started doing this fun question of the day for filmmakers just to sort of generate dialogue between people. So go back and check and just answer some questions, and let's see if we can't, get all these filmmakers together and start making awesome things.
Oh, yeah. And anything else like Twitter, Facebook, you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I mean, everything's under I have my own, like, personal YouTube page, but I put everything under Bear Claw Films because that's sort of like my brand. Right. So there's Bear Claw Films is Twitter. It's got an Instagram. I mean, if you just go to the Bear Claw Films website, all the links are there.
Okay.
Hell yeah!
And you can watch Apple. Yeah, bearclawfilms.com, and you can watch Axe and The Wrong Profile, and even my non-horror, if you want to, all on YouTube and Vimeo, actually.
Hell yeah, that sounds good.
Well, we'll put all the links in the description. So
yeah, for sure.
You guys are great. I really appreciate it. You guys are fun to talk to, and I wish you all the best success on this. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy your show.
Hey, we appreciate it, man.
We appreciate it. We're trying hard.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep it going. Keep in touch, and if I ever find anybody that you guys would love to interview, I'll see if I can't push them your way.
Exactly. Hey, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm blessed to be around actors and filmmakers pretty much daily, and they're all looking for a venue just to say hi and talk about their stuff.
Hell yeah, we more than appreciate it.
My pleasure. You guys have a great day, okay? Or great evening, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it.
Have a good one.
My pleasure. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, all right, guys. So, Michael Coulombe right there, short film director, been doing it for years. Just another individual brought to you from Tennessee Horror News that you probably never heard of.
Hell yeah.
Because that's what we're trying to do here.
Yep.
And who else is doing that shit? No one. No one.
Nope.
And if there are, tell me who they are. Can you? Comment below. On YouTube's, if you watch this shit on YouTube, comment and tell me who else is doing this.
Yeah.
Who else? Where'd you hear Michael Coulombe from before? I don't know.
You heard him from us, though.
Exactly. So, and he's got some good shorts, and he's working on a bunch of other stuff, and this is what it's all about, indie horror films. Right? I mean, right?
Yep.
But, we hope you enjoyed this, and oh yeah, we hope you had a happy Valentine's Day. So we'll be on after. Right, Jim? So, we hope you had some good times with Seth's partner.
Oh, yeah. I love you guys.